Okay. All right, I have a stopwatch here. I'm going to start it now. Um, okay, so I did research on gun violence in the US, specifically American mass shootings. So my research question is, are guns or people to blame for modern American mass shootings? This is relevant because since the year 2000, active shooter incidents have gone from 3 to 61 annual incidents. But in order to make sure the data is most accurate, you have to define what a mass shooting is. So what I'm going to be defining it as in this presentation is an active shooter incident, which is defined as one or more individuals actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in a populated area. There are two schools of thought. You either think guns are the problem or people are the problem. Without guns, gun violence physically could not exist. They may only be an object, but not all objects can kill people in a matter of seconds. But if you believe people are the problem, where there is gun violence, there must be a person to pull the trigger. Guns are simply an object. The catalyst is the person who feels the need to use it for murder. Those are the two different sides that the authors tended to fall into. It was very rare to find an author that had sides, like took both sides into account. My hypothesis are guns are the problem because there is a clear link between the increase of firearms in the US and the increase of gun violence. My evidence, so I took 3 of the main topics that were mentioned by the authors. I guess these could be referred to as schools of thought, but I don't think they are. I think they're just good pieces of evidence. So 3 reasons could be an increase in American gun culture, American fear, and the sheer amount of guns that there are. In American gun culture, the US, guns are a huge part of the forefront of our culture, and they just might innately spark violence, having that be something so important to us. American fear, once firearms create violence, there's an even more increased sense of need for firearms. Additionally, socioeconomic inequality in the US leaves you feeling if you need a firearm in your everyday life, which might lead to impulsive uses of a firearm. Lastly, the sheer amount. Though firearms may just be objects, there are about we have seen that there are plenty of guns in the US, and as we are doing right now, more guns did not lead to less crime because we have more than we ever had, and we have the highest amount of crime. So that would turn down the argument that we need more, which I put here. I found in my research that it was difficult because every argument would have the perfect rebuttal from the other side. If you say we need less guns, then you could argue that what about deterrence? Because concealed gun carrying laws reduce crime because it gives criminals a sense of hesitation that they wouldn't have otherwise if they knew that nobody would have one. But there are currently concealed gun carrying laws. We have many firearms in the US and crime is not decreasing. So that would just not lead to less crime. And then mental health. Many people like to argue that in several cases, perpetrators of mass shootings had problems with prior mental health or serious concerns about it from around them. I decided that that is not a solid enough evidence to use in my research because nobody, mentally ill or otherwise, would have the ability for gun violence without easy access to a gun in the first place. Mental health may be an epidemic in America, but that does not take responsibility away from the guns. Additionally, the reason why that would not make solid data is because there have not been any definitive links discovered between mental illness and gun violence. These sources are valid because I found them on peer-reviewed sites. I tried to use sources from both sides of the argument since this is such a polarizing issue. Some of the challenges in my research was that a lot of it was about policy making and about whether the Second Amendment is a fundamental right or not. I did not want to find out whether we should have guns or not. I just wanted to know what is the catalyst for violence. I'm not trying to create laws. And then what I would have liked to do if I had more time is that I would have liked to dive deeper into the specific section. If I came to a conclusion that it was guns, I would have looked into what kinds have changed. If people, I would have looked into different things like age, gender, and socioeconomic status. I honestly would have changed my entire research question to what has changed since the year 2000 that may have caused this increase, and focus more on the correlation between gun amounts and gun violence and mass shootings, because I feel that could provide more concrete evidence and it would have been better. And that's it. And I stopped there at 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Thank you.